Get ready for University of Georgia basketball.
I waited here for you for so very long. I waited here for you so long. I waited here for you, for you.
The following is a production of WSB Sports and the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Get ready for University of Georgia basketball. Now, let's go courtside to Scott Howard.
The Georgia Bulldogs have been dealt an ugly hand of cards, but they will have to display their best poker face possible as they take on Kentucky today here at Georgia Tech in the postponed quarterfinal game of the Southeastern Conference men's basketball tournament. Yes, the venue has changed due to storm damage from about 14 hours ago at the Georgia Dome, but the Bulldogs' mission has not changed. However, it does become much more difficult as the winner of Georgia-Kentucky will play again later tonight against a more rested Mississippi State team in the tournament semifinals. Georgia faces Kentucky for the third time this season and will try to defeat the Wildcats for the first time ever in the SEC tournament. It's Georgia and Kentucky coming up here in Atlanta. The Bulldog pregame show is brought to you by Georgia Power. They're earning their money today. Official power source of the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll start our countdown to tip-off next on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. It's time now for the Dennis Felton pregame show. It's brought to you by AirTran Airways, along with Coach Dennis Felton, Scott Howard, as we get ready for Georgia and Kentucky here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum at the campus of Georgia Tech. So, Coach, a lot has transpired in the last 12 hours. Take me through what your experience has been like with you and the team from last night getting prepared to play and then not getting to play and then having to change venues and the whole deal.
Well, we ended up spending 4 hours at the Dome last night without playing a game due to all the interruptions in the game that was prior to ours and then the interruption we thought we were going to play late, but then the decision was made not to play, and then it took us some time to be able to leave the facility and then some more time to get back to the hotel due to all the traffic in the city and the closed streets and all that sort of thing. But we ended up getting back and first getting word of what the schedule might look like this morning, somewhere I guess around 1:30, 2 o'clock last night. And we just turned the guys in and tucked them in and wanted them to get to bed and get as much rest as possible for this morning, and just put together an itinerary for this morning that would have us here and ready to play this morning.
I guess there's no use in really thinking about playing two, because you got to play one first and you got to win this one, then you can start thinking about that. But it's certainly at a disadvantage for game number one, having to come back later tonight and to try to play a second game in that short a time frame. But tell me a little bit about Kentucky as you guys get ready to see these guys for the third time.
Well, Kentucky is, they're a very good team because they're really, really tough defensively, very, very tough and hard-nosed competitively. And they have a great backcourt leading the way, a backcourt that, Ramel, Bradley, and Crawford that aren't only explosive as scorers, but they can really, really control the game with their scoring ability, with their playmaking ability. The fact that, they're both great free throw shooters, and they're both really good at getting to the line, and they've got some, they've got some players around them that complement them well. So they've had a tremendous season. They've just gotten better and better as the year's gone along, and they're one of the toughest teams to score on in the league, and really, work hard and well as a team together to find ways to score is important. And then the another real big challenge is since Patrick Patterson went down with the injury, they're primarily playing 4 guards in 1 post, and so that's a challenge for us, for our big guys like David and Albert and Jeremy, to have to play a guy like Jasper, who's playing at the 4 most of the game for them, and he's a 50% free throw three-point shooter, and also one of their better playmakers off the dribble and that sort of thing.
Any thoughts about playing this game in front of a pared-down audience? No ticketed fans are allowed into the ball game today, so it's definitely going to be a different atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a shame because last night I would estimate that there were 30,000, somewhere in the area of 30,000 fans there for the nightcap, and it was we had just had a lot of fun the night before, playing in the Dome when we beat Mississippi, and it's a shame that something couldn't be figured out. Obviously we'd have no problem of filling this little facility, but the decision was made to just make it very exclusive, and I don't know quite what to expect in terms of exactly what it will be like out there. I'm awfully confident that the people that are in there will be very vocal and be very passionate about their teams, though.
All right, Dennis, thanks for your time. Let's hope we're playing 2 today, but let's get by number 1 first. Good luck.
Thanks, Scott.
That's Coach Dennis Felton. We'll give the lineups for Georgia and Kentucky next here on the Bulldogs Radio Network.
Bulldog basketball is on the air. You're listening to University of Georgia basketball on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. The Dogs are brought to you by Regions Bank. Banking is simple again. Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now. Bud Light. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Citgo. There at every turn. Optium Financial. Mortgage lender to the Bulldog Nation. And by your neighborhood Ford dealers.
No, definitely not that feel, but maybe once we get into mixing it up a little bit, maybe it'll develop that feel. You still have both bands and pep squads and cheerleaders and all that, so you still got the spirit aspect of it, and so that's always good. If you don't have the pep band, then you got a completely different, it's like a mausoleum, but at least that'll fill up some of the dead space.
Well, and I think, too, if they were just going to go with a first-come, first-serve, that would have been an absolute zoo to get people in.
Well, there are a lot of folks outside right now that are wondering why they can't get in because they didn't get the word.
Yeah.
And a lot of them in blue, and there's some folks in orange out there. There's some folks in orange in here, which surprises me. I didn't know if it was just Georgia, Kentucky only for this one, or if everybody that's playing today is invited in. But we are set to go. Georgia in black, Kentucky in white. It'll be Mark Curry and Albert Jackson jumping for Georgia. Tom Eads tosses it, and the Dogs are going to win the tip as Sunday out of Gaines retrieves it. From where we sit next to the bench, the Dogs will work from right to left as they carry it into the front court, and Kentucky opens up in a man-to-man. Crawford, that was Bradley, won't go. We get the long rebound, top of the key. Boy, we're going to have a problem seeing today. We're getting screened out by officials and coaches, sitting right next to the coach's bench. Here's Humphrey on the right side. Kick it into the post to Jackson, triple team. Dump it left side to Wood for a three. Good!
Great
Woodbury,
start.
3, left wing.
Great start for Georgia. 5-0 lead, inside out. Albert Jackson's improved mightily as the season has gone on, and teams have to respect his offense now. They didn't up until late in the regular season.
Rebounded by Bliss on the right baseline. Outlet to Gaines. He sprints from right to left to the free throw line, kicks it out to Woodbury, back to Gaines. Dogs slow it down and go their offensive set with Bliss holding between the circles to Wood for a 3. Good! Woodbury another 3 with Crawford just staring at the ball as it tickled the twine.
And Terrence Woodbury, who had a career best 25 in the win on Thursday night, back-to-back threes. Georgia's taken 5 good shots. 3 of them have gone down, and the Dogs lead the Cats 8-0. Games this year and absolutely mauled the Bulldogs this season.
8-3, Kentucky trailing Georgia. Bliss with a jump hook, left hand on the left baseline from about 7 feet away. Bliss makes it a 10-3 Georgia lead.
And the Dogs 4 of 6 from the floor. 2 big threes from Terrence Woodbury, and Georgia going inside with both Jackson and Dave Bliss.
A little bit different task today with the senior Ramel Bradley. That should be a good matchup. Gaines, second free throw. Short, rimmed out, rebounded, tipped up high. Jackson wins the battle. Kick it out to Butler, fakes the 3, drives to the free throw line, short. Jumper all net for Corey Butler, the walk-on from Decatur.
Well, great start here for Georgia. Corey Butler extending the lead. Dogs by 9, biggest edge thus far. And that's good karma. The Dogs missed both free throws, but are still able to get 2 points out of the trip. Corey Butler with a terrific head fake, got a great look and knocked down the 15-footer.
And a fine rebound by Al Jackson as he made a nice move to slip by Price. Kick out to Jasper. He'll drive left baseline, throw it in the paint, and it's intercepted by Georgia as Humphrey comes up with a steal. Dogs take it the other way, leading by 10. Humphrey stops the dribble, sends it to Bliss, just right of the circle above the three-point arc, back to Humphrey. Crawford trying to get back with him. They won't let Humphrey shoot the 3. Send it into Price. Right low block, turn jumper, good from 10 feet on the right baseline.
That's a shot that Jeremy Price continues to develop. The hook shot's a terrific shot, very hard to defend, especially against a bulky player like Price. His body's naturally creating a lot of space.
Dogs with a 12-point lead, loose. Gaines to Price, high on the left wing. Jasper all over him, give it back to Gaines on a handoff behind the big man. Gaines picks up the dribble, tries to send it into Bliss. He catches it on the left low block. He's double teamed, throws it up to Gaines. Off his leg, it was rolling. We keep it alive. Gaines forces one on the right side, threw up a circus shot, and got it to go.
Now, Dogs needed a break. Georgia turned it over 4 times on its last 6 possessions. Sunday out of Gaines able to finish. You know who's grinning like a Cheshire cat right now is Rick Stansberry.
Mississippi State just kicking back. Gaines will walk it through the midcourt logo into the front side with a 4-point lead. Fires to Woodbury. Wood going to dribble drive, left hand to the rack, high off the glass, gets the bounce, good. Woodbury now has 8 points. Let's keep going to Wood. He's got the hot hand.
He got bumped a little bit too going up there. Terrence Woodbury just having a magnificent SEC tournament.
We're tied at 20. Georgia led at 16-4, but the Cats on a 16-4 run since to tie it. Crawford to the free throw line, just above it, pull-up jumper, and the Cats lead.
Crawford got a great screen out high from Stewart.
Their first lead of the ball game with 1:35 to go. Swansea trots it into the front court right now. High on the left wing, screened by Butler, drives across to the rack, layup, too hard off the rim. Goodness gracious, Stewart gets the rebound for Kentucky. He had a lane.
Different ball game, to say the least.
Dogs 2-3 zone now. Bradley works it around. 35 on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. Go to Harris, left side to Crawford. Left baseline, Jasper. Crawford on the wing will take a 3 and knock it down good. His second of the game. He's got 10 points. Cats lead it by 3, 25-22. They'll press on the inbounds, but Gaines will be able to walk it up. Dogs will take the last shot, hopefully here. 16 seconds, 15. Into the corner to Harris. Ramon Harris dribbles it up the wing, gives it to Jasper. He feeds Bradley above the arc, guarded by Humphrey. Going to dribble and drive, and Gaines just took it away. Highway robbery. Sundiata sprints down the floor, reverse layup, good. It falls in from the left side.
Hey, Sundiata Gaines started the ball game with a reverse layup down on the other end, and the Dogs draw within 1. There's defense creating offense.
Clock ticks at 13:39, shot clock at 22. Dogs ball. Gaines dribbles, works against Ramon Harris right now. They're fronting Albert Jackson down low, won't let him get anything. Price will shoot in the circle and knock down a 16-footer. Jeremy Price with 5 to bring the Dogs within 1.
And Price moving towards the basket, able to knock it down. He's got 15-foot range. That was a 17-footer. Dogs have scored 4 straight. That's big in this one.
13 minutes to play. It's a 1-point lead for the Cats. Crawford trying to make it 2. Free throw on the way, good. He's got 13 in the game, and the Cats get to 30 before the Dogs do. We've got 28. Butler brings it across the timeline, far side of the floor. Bradley matched up with him. Go to Bliss between the circles. Holds it high, shows it out, and then gives it to Gaines to his right. Sundiata dribbles. Tries to take Harris, goes to the edge of the lane, then backs it out a little bit. Feeds Woodbury. Left elbow pull-up jumper. Good 15-footer. Terrence Woodbury like that. He's in double figures with 10, and the Dogs have tied the Cats at 30.
Fresh legs go straight to Woodbury, and he buried it 4 out of 6 from the field. First Dog into double digits.
He was 9 for 12 against Ole Miss, and then, as Jeff said, 4 out of 6 today. He's having a heck of an SEC tournament. Georgia will inbound the basketball. Left to the basket in the front court with Swansea throwing it in. Looks for Bliss under the basket, not there. Going to throw it in deep to Gaines, high on the left wing. Bliss flashes out, takes the pass, holds it high, dribbles it once in the circle, feeds it into Price on the right side. Price is triple team, steps to the free throw line, kicks it out left wing to Gaines. 10 on the shot clock for Sundiata. Wants a screen from Jeremy. Gaines, dribble drive through the circle. Jump back jumper, won't go. Got his own rebound. He dribbles under the backboard and reverse layup, good. He missed the shot, followed it, got his rebound, and took it back and scored.
And Georgia moves out in front, 32-31 with 11:11 to go. Big answer.
Cats with Bradley driving, hanging, scooping, blocked by Bliss, but right to Harris.
Using that left hand, a tough shot to finish. And now the Dogs and Wildcats go back and forth. 4th lead change.
33-32, Kentucky leads with 10:40 to play. Swansea to Bliss, top of the key, looks at the 3, steps a little bit closer. Shot fake, backdoor feed to Gaines, driving into the layup, good. Beautiful assist on the bounce pass from Bliss, and the score by Sundiata.
How many times do you think Bliss and Gaines have worked on that play together in their 4 years?
34-33. Dogs take a 1-point lead once again as we have another lead change. On him for a 3, rimmed out, no good. Rebound tipped again, picked up, bouncing by Gaines. Dogs have a chance to add to a 1-point lead. Sundiata drives into the front court, now slows down on the left wing. Now hesitates, drive, tucks and runs, throws it up, not close. Woodbury rebounds, put back good, off the backboard. Terrence underneath with 12 points now as Georgia leads it by 3, 9:34 and the clock ticking.
A great job there by Terrence Woodbury, and Sundiata Gaines just driving it. That's when the Dogs are at their best.
That's with the ball. Stevenson out front, goes to Jasper. They swing it right side to Bradley. Gets a screen. Butler goes right with him. Makes some space. 3 ball won't go. Rebounded by Jackson off the back rim for Bradley. He's been cold today. Just 1 for 9 for Ramel Bradley.
Dogs have done a great job on Bradley and really have played him well all season long.
No kidding. He's now 5 for 25 against the Dogs this year. Long 3. Woodbury around the rim. Good. Top of the key. Wood with 15 points. His 3rd 3 of the game. And the Dogs lead it by 8, 41-33.
Georgia in complete control right now. Just got to keep going scores and stops as we've clicked down under 7 minutes to go.
Bradley drives across, screen from
him to calm down. Sundiata threw a bit of an elbow. They were tugging on his jersey, but right there, I understand you're frustrated, but you're going to be kicking yourself if you foul out of the game over something silly like that.
Bliss front end of the 1-and-1, rims out, no good. We got the rebound, and Butler with the putback as he jumped and drove and laid it in.
And that gives the Dogs some momentum back, and Georgia stretches the lead out to 7.
43-36. Cats with the ball. We're under 6 minutes to go in the contest. 43-41. Dogs still in front. 5:08. The clock ticking. Humphrey holds. Bradley's on him now. Just left of the circle. Bounces it into Bliss. Ball fake. Got it. Stevenson in the air and then laid it up and in. Beautiful move by the senior as he scores to give Georgia a 4-point lead.
Yeah, great job by Bliss. Got in deep. Used that big body to set a screen. And a nice feed from Billy Humphrey from the left wing.
45-41 Dogs, 4:45 to go. We get it into Butler, and he'll give it to Gaines, and Sundiata will walk it into the front court, left to right. Clock ticks under 2:40. Screen from Bliss out front. Gaines on the left wing. Woodbury flashes out. They go to Bliss inside. Laying good with a left hand. Bradley may have him. He backed off. There was no whistle, but Bliss scored. And the Dogs back in front by 48-47.
Screen and roll worked to perfection by the Dogs. Georgia in the man. Humphrey on Crawford.
Bradley runs left baseline. Driving layup scores. Kentucky back in the lead.
Great move by Ramel Bradley. He faked up and then slashed down the left baseline with the left hand.
12 on the shot clock. Go right corner to Harris. He's going to drive on the baseline, reach in. We knocked the ball away. They whistle a foul on Corey Butler. Oh, my goodness.
They didn't. They got it on Gaines.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Gaines is gone. Gaines
Butler's
is gone.
asking for the foul, and they're saying Sunday out of Gaines.
And we've got an official timeout here with 1:33 to go.
5 count to start. 15 on the clock, 14 on the clock, tied at 50. Bradley dribbling near midcourt. Here they go into motion. Bradley now dribbles, 9 on the clock, 8 on the clock. Here's Bradley, works against Butler. Ramel Bradley, step back jumper on the baseline. No good! Rebound Bliss, 2 seconds to go. Bliss throws it long with a left hand. Nowhere close. We've got another overtime contest in this SEC tournament.
And how about this Southeastern Conference tournament? This is the 8th game. And this is the 3rd one that has gone to overtime. And you had a 2-pointer yesterday. Unbelievable. Georgia and Kentucky, 50-50, an extra 5 minutes here at Alexander Memorial.
Well, let's play more than 2. 5 minutes on the clock, 50-50. Georgia and Kentucky overtime in this quarterfinal game. We'll take a timeout and come back for the extra section bonus basketball right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Well, you knew it would happen. I mean, if you're going to have to play 2 games, you might as well throw in some overtime as well. Georgia and Kentucky going to overtime number 1, tied at 50.
Rick Stansberry's got an ear-to-ear grip.
He's smoking a cigar right now,
It's
getting
in
a massage.
Bag. He's saying Georgia and Kentucky going to overtime, and the winner has to come back later tonight to play the SEC West champs, and Georgia's going to have to do it without Sunday out of Gaines, who fouled out. 2 clutch free throws from Dave Bliss. Kentucky kept going to the offensive glass, but Ramel Bradley missed what would have been the game winner. And now Georgia, with the deck completely stacked against the Dogs, going to try and somehow pull out another overtime victory.
Jackson and Stevenson in the center circle to jump it up for overtime. Kentucky wins the tip, and Bradley, who's had a horrendous day shooting the ball, just 3 for 15, dribbles for Kentucky. He missed the possible game winner just seconds ago. Bradley to the elbow, right side, feeds down low. Jasper picked it up between his legs. He got lucky there that we didn't get a hand on it. Gets it back out to Bradley on the right side of the floor. Ramel Bradley dribbles around Albert Jackson, gives it back to Jasper. He'll shoot the 3, air ball. Rebounded by Crawford on the left baseline, but he stepped out of bounds. It's Georgia ball.
A big break there for Georgia. Kentucky took 28 seconds off the shot clock, got the air ball. Georgia going with a smaller lineup. Jackson in the middle, Woodbury sliding to the 4. Butler, Humphrey, and Swansea on the wings, and Humphrey will again bring it up.
Kentucky shooting just 35.5% for the day. Humphrey dribbles in trouble. They try to trap him. Scoops it to Wood. Wide open jumper, top of the key. 2. Good. His toe was on the line. He got a 2-pointer. He's got 17 in the ballgame, and Georgia leads it 52-50 in overtime.
Big shot there by Woodbury, but he's got to make sure that he shoots a 3. Slide that toe back there. Obviously, that point could be huge.
4 minutes to play in overtime. Bradley dribble drive down the right side. High over Jackson. He altered the shot. The ball is loose. Picked up by Jasper underneath. He missed a reverse layup. Rebound bouncing in the paint. Covered up by Woodbury. Dogs have the ball. 3:48 to go in a 2-point lead.
Terrence Woodbury with his 6th rebound to go along with 17 points.
Humphrey dribbles slowly between the circles. Ramel Bradley goes with him as he goes to the left side, picks up the dribble to Woodbury. Shot fake, dribble drive, kick out, right corner 3 by Swansea. No good. Rebound Jackson. Jackson back up high off the glass. That won't go. The rebound knocked on the floor. Tapped out by Woodbury. Huge play by Terrence Woodbury. A bouncing rebound that he tapped out to Corey Butler, and Kentucky's got a man down in the paint.
It is so physical underneath. Ajax, the miscue he had there was putting the ball on the ground instead of going straight back up. Terrence Woodbury with a great option there. He could have driven it in, would have had a good shot at scoring. Got it to Zach Swansea, who had a wide open tray. He just couldn't drain it, but Georgia relentless on the offensive glass. That's Perry Stevenson, who's banged up, so they stop the game. And Georgia will have the ball, and Stevenson should have to leave here. as they stop the game for him being injured. Now Georgia going to get Dave Bliss in.
Well, I think if the trainer comes onto the floor, then he does. But if he can get up under his own power, they give him that option, and that's the case here. But he hurt his leg or his knee or something, but he's a little hobbled. Maybe you go right at him.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, you're a lion, and that's a wounded zebra out there.
He's bleeding profusely.
Go for Bliss. And listen, he's on Bliss right now. Get it to the big fella. Bliss outweighs him by about 50 pounds. Just let him back him in and get physical.
Humphrey runs out to take the inbounds from Butler on the near sideline. Humphrey dribbles. They flash out. Tight man-to-man by Kentucky. Bliss flashes out, takes the pass above the arc on the right side. Go to Woodbury, 15 on the shot clock. 3:08 to play. Dogs by 2 with the ball. Woodbury works against Jasper. Picks up the dribble. Can't get it into Bliss. Goes to Humphrey. 8 on the clock. Billy Humphrey dribbles in the circle. Shoots along 2. It's deflected. Dogs wanted a foul. Get the call. 52-50. Kentucky trailing Georgia. They've got the ball. 2:50 to go. The clock stops and a timeout. Kentucky. Billy Gillespie asks Tom Eads, give me a time, and they'll take a 30-second break in the action.
And Georgia's sorely missing Sunday out of gains. Obviously, Billy Humphrey is 0 for 6, and Bliss did not get a touch after that inbounds play. The offense is clearly not running as crisply without the star senior second-team All-SEC point guard.
Dennis Felton wanted a foul on that shot by Humphrey as he slammed his hands right on the scorer's table.
We're still
right
on the air.
next to
He banged the table really hard right there, but Charles has still got us up and rolling here. It's 52-50. Georgia leading Kentucky by a deuce with 2:50 to go. And
we'll take a timeout while they're stopped at 2:50 in overtime. Breaking the action. Dogs lead by 2. We're back in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. It has been defense all day long. We're 2:10 into the overtime, and Georgia scored the only 2 points of the extra session.
52-50. Kentucky shooting 34%. The Dogs 40%. Cats 4 of 18 on 3. Georgia 3 of 11 on trays. Georgia 11 of 17 at the foul line. Kentucky 14 of 23. Cats +1 on the boards. Cats +1 in the turnover column. Dogs +2 on the scoreboard.
The winner of this one, 6 hours and change away from a semifinal matchup with Mississippi State, who's getting lathered up and washed down at the hotel right now as Kentucky has the ball in the front court. Bradley trots to the left side, guarded by Butler. Fires to Stevenson straight away. Go to Ramon Harris on the far side of the floor. Swansea's on him. Crawford flashes out, takes the pass, matched up with Billy Humphrey. 10 on the shot clock. Crawford works, leans in at the free throw line, shoots or passes. That was a pass. It wasn't a shot, and they get Humphrey for a foul. And 2 shots for Crawford, even though he was passing it, not shooting it.
It's double bonus. So Crawford will step to the line for the pair. And again, Humphrey, especially with that runner's knee, not the defender he has been. So Crawford taking it right at him with a chance to tie.
Joe Crawford with 20 points on the afternoon. Free throw number 1, good.
Boy, and he has just murdered Georgia this season. He has been tremendous against the Bulldogs. And Georgia's held Ramel Bradley in check. Bradley's 3 out of 16 today. Crawford's got 21 on 7 of 17 shooting.
In 3 games this year, he scored 70 points against the Dogs, make it 71 as he hits both free throws. So we're tied at 52 with 2:29 to go in the game. In overtime, Georgia and Kentucky, the winner to the semifinals of the SEC tournament.
Tonight.
Humphrey. Yeah, later, there's 6 hours away. Tennessee and Arkansas at 6, Mississippi State, and the winner here at 8:30 or close to that. Butler backs it out on the wing. 14 to play on the shot clock. Go to Bliss down on the right baseline, into the corner to Humphrey. They trap him and double team him, and he calls for a time.
Good job there getting the timeout. Humphrey in the corner right into the double team. I think right now for Georgia, again, you try and run a look and get the ball to Dave Bliss down on the blocks. And without Gaines in there, the offense not going to run as crisply. And you also don't have the bailout play, which Georgia's had the luxury of having with Gaines. But if nothing's there, if you're being defended well, just get the ball in Gaines' hands and let him drive and at least try and get to the foul line.
It's difficult to get Bliss any touches here as Kentucky's really doing a nice job covering him up. Either that or we're not patient enough to try and get him the ball.
Well, here's the thing. They can help a lot more on Bliss because on the perimeter they don't have to worry about Gaines driving the ball. And Humphrey's the primary ball handler here in the half-court set. And not the freshman, Zach Swansea, who's a pure point guard. Big moments here for the freshman, Zach Swansea. And he's going to throw the ball in. Swansea's gotten 1-5 count here today and was close to another one. Got to make sure you get it in.
He'll throw it in from the right corner, right in front of the Georgia bench. Swansea to throw it in, skips it into Bliss. They immediately double team. He dribbles into the lane, puts it up, won't go. They're all over him. He got his own rebound on the miss. He throws it back out to Swansea. Shot fake for three. Drives in a little 2-foot floater. Good. Zach Swansea with a fist pump, and Georgia leads it 54-52. A minute 50 to go in overtime.
Great strong move by Dave Bliss, and then he's able to follow it up with the offensive board, and Zach Swansea with one of the biggest buckets of his young career.
Harris spins away from Swansea for Kentucky. Dribbles slowly, left wing, and a timeout. Kentucky with 1:37 in the overtime, and Georgia leading it by 2, 54-52.
And this will leave the Wildcats with 2 timeouts. Georgia has 3 remaining, and what a game and what a tournament. When we've had a tornado, 3 games.
Could have done without that.
Go into overtime, and we've had 2 other games that have been 2 or 4 point contests. This has been a sensational SEC tournament up until the fireworks from last night with the tornado. And here we are at Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Georgia trying to win its first ever SEC tournament game against Kentucky on the floor of the Bulldogs' hated arch rival. What a twist.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And again, these two teams, they played in Louisville, they played in Lexington, they played in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, in Atlanta at the Omni, they played in Athens. These two teams had played in Las Vegas when Adolph Rupp refused to play at Woodruff Hall, where the weather truly was a factor with the leaking roof. And now here we are at Alexander Memorial, and Georgia 97 seconds away from stunning the Regal and Royal Wildcats.
Cats throw it in, 1:36 on the clock in overtime as Woodbury strips Jasper, knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Kentucky ball with 18 on the shot clock. And Harris to throw it in again, and Swansea will guard the inbounds. He jumps, they throw it into the backcourt to Jasper. Cats down by 2, 90 seconds to go into the overtime. Crawford with the ball, far side, drives against Humphrey, pushes off, spins. We knock it away. Woodbury going to pick up the loose ball. Terrence into the front court. Bounce feed to Butler. It's stolen by the Kentucky Wildcats. They took it away. Stevenson stole it right back, gives it up to Bradley. Oh, we had a great opportunity, and we wasted it there. Crawford, little jump hook won't go. Tap in from 6 feet away. He got it to go. We're tied at 54 with 67 seconds left.
And Terrence right there, you either got to attack or you got to pull it out. A costly, costly turnover for the Bulldogs.
54-54, 54 seconds to go. Humphrey, missed dribbles, picks it up. Stevenson all over him, goes to Wood for 3. No good, back rim, rebounded by Kentucky. Stevenson clears in the paint. 45 seconds to go, 54-54 all in overtime.
And Kentucky's going to go to Joe Crawford. The Dogs have got Humphrey on him. Need a stop, a board, and a score to win it. Boy, some missed opportunities.
You're not kidding. 12 seconds difference on the shot clock and game clock. Under 30 seconds to go in the game in overtime. 54 all, Kentucky with the ball. Ramel Bradley dribbles slowly high on the left wing. Corey Butler's out on him, drives across, Bliss flashes out. They make contact, kick it into the corner. Oh, Jasper 3, rimmed out. Stevenson got a big board with 14 to play. Bradley for 2 at the free throw line. Won't, bounce, it went. 2 bounces, it went, 8.8 seconds. Cats lead by 2, we call a timeout with 8.8 seconds to go in overtime. Kentucky has taken a 56-54 lead.
And the Wildcats, just as was the case at the end of regulation, going to the offensive glass, they're able to extend the possession. I think even though we made it, Bradley still shot too soon. Georgia's got plenty of time here with 8.8 to go. When you look at the big picture, obviously if something's open and you can get a 2 to tie it up, you do it. But I think without Gaines, the play for Georgia right now is to get a look for a 3. And obviously your leading candidates are Terrence Woodbury, who's had 3 3-pointers here today. Billy Humphrey, who has had a dismal day shooting. He's 0 for 6, 0 for 2 on threes, but that'd be a great time to knock his first one down. Zach Swansea's your 3rd option, and then Corey Butler is option number 4. Now, obviously, if Georgia's got a good look, if there's a drive and you feel like you got a good chance to get the 2, you take advantage of it and tie it. But I think the longer this game goes on, the more it favors Kentucky. A, because Georgia's without Gaines. B, because Georgia just 36 hours ago played an overtime game, and this is Kentucky's first contest, so you figure their legs are fresher. Plus, Georgia has such a thin bench. And do you think about maybe getting Troy Brewer in right here? I know he's been cold. Brewer's not going to come in, and I don't think you can bring him in that cold, but just a thought. Oh, boy, I think the play again is for the Dogs to go for three. Georgia's still in the huddle. And Mike Jones saying that the Dogs had called that longer timeout. And Tom Eads blowing the whistle now. Kentucky out on the floor. You got to get out there. You don't want them to set the ball down. All right, Coach, what do you think? A 3 or a 2?
That's a good question. We'll see.
I think
I'm no coach. We'll just play it out.
Set it up for a 3. Maybe get it back to Butler after he makes the inbounds. Let him drive and kick it like he did to Bliss.
Butler throws it into Swansea. Swansea got to push it up. 6 on the clock. Swansea crossover. Zach curls around. He'll shoot the 3. It's good! Swansea 3 with 1.2 to go. Swansea hit the 3. Oh my goodness! Zach Swansea hit the 3 on a turnaround jumper. The freshman with the biggest shot of his life.
1.2 to go. Zach Swansea with a terrific twist out on the right wing, and the Cats dropped off just a little bit, and Zach Swansea, Steely, the freshman, knocks it down, and the Dogs 1.2 away from upsetting Kentucky. Now the Wildcats have one timeout remaining here. They've got to throw it the length of the floor. Obviously, number one priority for Georgia, do not foul. The Cats are in the double bonus. It would take a tremendous Grant Hill to Christian Leitner type play for the Cats to win it. The only other option they would have here is if they were to throw it in near midcourt and grab a quick timeout, but then they'd have less than a second. So you figure Kentucky right here, they're just going to come with a long pass, and their best case scenario would be get it in the hands of Joe Crawford and hope he gets a good look to try and win it for the Wildcats.
Swansea had been 2 for his last 19 on threes, and he hit a turnaround miracle. Sunday out of Gaines was giving him a big old hug because Gaines knows that Swansea may have bailed him out. He fell out of the ballgame so that Yada can play at least one more game in 6 hours from now against the Western Division champion Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Good strategy here by Georgia. Big Ajax is on the inbounds passer, Porter.
Porter to throw it in, moves on the baseline, runs. They try to draw a foul. They try to draw a flop, and the clock stops because somebody called a timeout.
Porter did along the baseline, and Albert Jackson, that was a little too close for comfort. That was a smart play by Kentucky. They had the screener set up there, and he did indeed flop. Ajax was running along the baseline with him. And
Gillespie's still arguing on the other end. That's the play they drew up. He's like, why didn't I get it?
That was dangerous.
It was. I mean, Bradley, there was contact there. Bradley slid on the floor as Jackson moved along the baseline with the inbound Michael Porter trying to throw it in, running baseline. Jackson moved along with him, and there was Bradley trying to draw the charge, and they didn't get the play.
And there was definitely contact there, so the Dogs might have caught a break in that situation. And again, you're going to have Ajax on the inbounds. Got to have that head on a swivel. That was a great play that Kentucky just drew up.
It was.
And it almost worked. And Billy Gillespie is just incensed here. And again, objective number one, do not foul. Double bonus. And Georgia, let's see now if the Dogs back Ajax off a bit. And Dennis Felton telling his guys, do not foul. And now Kentucky is going to run a 4 out here. They're going to try and get the ball to Crawford. Probably screen for him against Humphrey.
In all honesty, the officials may have missed one right there. Georgia leading it by 1, 57-56. Rick Crawford telling Michael Porter his instructions. You can move up and down along the baseline. He runs one way, then the other, throws it in deep and out of bounds. He threw it out of bounds. Nobody touched it. It's Georgia ball.
And the Dogs will get it down underneath their own basket. Now Georgia just got to get it in, and Kentucky is going to try and foul right away. Now Georgia going to substitute Zach Swansea back in for Albert Jackson. The Dogs had subbed in Jackson just to guard the inbounds passer. And right now, you're in a spot as Georgia's going to call a timeout, and this will leave the Bulldogs with 1. So if you got trouble throwing it in, you can spend a timeout. But number one, what Dennis Felton is going to tell his guys, just make the inbounds pass in close. Don't throw it out near midcourt. Even if you're in trouble, you'd rather turn it over underneath the basket and have them have to come 94 feet as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
Zach Swansea's three with 1.2 seconds to go in overtime has given Georgia a 1-point lead, 57-56. Kentucky drew up a brilliant play, really, trying to draw Georgia into a foul on their best free throw shooter, Ramel Bradley. The whistle didn't blow. There was contact between Jackson and Bradley, but no call. And now Kentucky will try to steal or foul as Georgia inbounds here with 1.2 seconds to go in overtime and a 1-point lead. Swansea to throw it in, and there's a foul before the inbounds pass, and they get Crawford
and
for the foul.
And Georgia's going to step to the line now. And obviously, best case scenario, you make them both. Kentucky's got to get a three to tie. I think if you miss the first one, you're just as well off to go ahead and miss the second one and make them have to heave at 94 feet.
Bradley.
Instead of if you make the second one, they get to throw it in bounds. I think you're better off missing the second one.
Corey Butler at the free throw line. Georgia backs everybody off the foul lane as Butler hits the free throw good.
Now you try and make it here to put you up three. That way even a miracle shot would just tie the ball game.
58-56, Georgia by 2, 1.2 seconds to go, overtime, quarterfinals, SEC tournament. Butler, deep breath, second free throw for the junior. On the way, and Stevenson jumps
That was a
up.
smart, he went in, he goaltended
Yeah,
it. They wanted to make sure he made it and not missed it. That way, they called a technical foul on him for doing it. They just called a technical foul on the Cats for goaltending the free throw. He was thinking what we were thinking, that on a miss, they're going to have to throw a miracle 94-footer. He wanted to make sure.
And they count the free throw also.
And Georgia's going to have another free throw, and the Bulldogs are going to put this ball game away.
Rick Crawford explaining it to Ramel Bradley and Perry Stevenson exactly what happens, and Georgia with a chance to salt it away now, 1.2, leading by 3. And starting to think about Mississippi State in 6 hours. They give Butler the free throw. He's got 8 points. I've never seen that, goaltending on a free throw. Humphreys at the line to shoot the technical free throws, and he makes it. And that's a 4-point game, and that's going to be it.
Dennis Felton just told us, guys, don't do anything. So Billy Humphrey has put it away.
His first point of the day, and he misses the second in. He gets 1 point. He makes the free throw, but it's enough to put Georgia up by 4 with only 1.2 to go.
And it's Kentucky's ball.
It's
Georgia
a two-possession game.
Just stand there. Just stand there.
Billy
Holy
Gillespie
cow.
was all the way past half court just a second ago. And Bradley will shoot the three. It rattles out at half court, and that's the ball game. And Gillespie with a quick handshake and to the locker room, and he's fuming right now. But Georgia, for the first time in school history, has beaten Kentucky in an SEC tournament game. Final in overtime, 60-56. The Bulldogs advance to the conference semifinals.
And Georgia beats Kentucky in an SEC tournament game for the first time ever on the home court of the Bulldogs' arch rivals here at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum. And the Dogs, who lost so many heartbreakers throughout the campaign, have now won twice in overtime, and it's on to the semifinals tonight. And why not? This Georgia team has caught magic here in Atlanta.
60-56, the final. We'll play another time. We'll play again at 8:30 tonight. What time are we going to be on the air, Charles? 8 o'clock? 8, we'll figure it out. We've got a post-game show to do. Dogs win it 60-56 over Kentucky and move on to the semifinals tonight. We're back in a moment with the AT&T Call of the Game next on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Back here in Atlanta at Alexander Memorial Coliseum, side of the rest of the SEC tournament here today and tomorrow. And Georgia has knocked off Kentucky in an SEC tournament game for the first time ever, 60-56 in overtime. Zach Swansea, the hero, he's signing on. He's already signed about 4 or 5 autographs here after the game, and now he's got cameras and microphones all in front of him. And that leads us up to the AT&T Call of the Game, and well, his game-winning shot was it, and here's what it sounded like. Butler throws it into Swansea. Swansea got to push it up. 6 on the clock. Swansea crossover. Zach curls around. He'll shoot the three. It's good! Swansea, 3 with 1.2 to go! Swansea hit the three! Oh my goodness! Zach Swansea hit the three on a turnaround jumper. The freshman with the biggest shot of his life. And there it is, the AT&T Call of the Game, and Zach Swansea joins us now here courtside. Zach, was that your biggest shot of your life?
Oh, yeah, it was. It was the biggest shot of my life. You know, playing the SEC tournament it's been a dream of mine, and especially against Kentucky, one of the best teams in the country.
Zach, I thought the key was you got yourself a good look when you made the little spin move that got you a little separation.
Yeah, that was big for me. Actually, I was looking for Billy come off the screen, and I think my man saw Billy come off the screen too, and he kind of jumped, and that allowed me to spin, and all I saw was the rim, knocked it down.
What did Sunday Out of Gaines say to you when he came up and gave you the hug after you made the shot?
I mean, he told me he loved me. This whole
he said thank you.
Yeah, he said thank you. He said I love you, man. We went through a lot this season in practice, going at it every day, and he said this makes up for everything.
All right, go rest up, come back and let's do it again tonight.
All right.
Zach Swansea with the AT&T call of the game, a game-winning three-pointer, finished with 5. His game-winning shot coming with less than 2 seconds to go in overtime as Georgia goes on to the 4-point win over Kentucky, 60-56.
Well, and even if this Cinderella run comes to an end, in the odds, you would think there's no way you can come back 2 overtime games played twice in one day. But why not? But even if it does, you just think about the moments coming out of this tournament. Dave Bliss hitting the game winner. Zach Swansea, here's a young man, a freshman from North Atlanta, grew up a Bulldog fan, just had the crowd chanting Swansea behind him. Just 2 incredible moments for Dave Bliss and for Zach Swansea. And Georgia just continues this incredible run through the Southeastern Conference tournament. I mean, finishing 4-12, and people who followed the league knew. In most of those games, Georgia was in there. It was nip and tuck. It was a 1-possession game, a 2-possession game, or a 3-possession game, and just a pass here, a shot there. But the Bulldogs have made the plays, and the Bulldogs have hit the shots, and Georgia has won twice in overtime. And now the Dogs are one of 4 teams still alive for the Southeastern Conference Tournament Championship and that automatic berth in the big dance.
So that's the carrot on the end of the stick as the Dogs play Mississippi State later tonight in the SEC tournament semifinals here on this floor. Tennessee and Arkansas will play at 6, and then Georgia and Mississippi State, another battle of the Bulldogs, immediately follow. Well, 30 minutes after the end of the Razorbacks and the Volunteers. So Georgia wins it 60-56. The Bulldog fans gathered in the tunnel give a nice cheer for Dave Bliss as he runs up the tunnel and into the locker room. Georgia a winner by 4, 60-56 over Kentucky. We'll come back with the Ed Boyles Honda Player of the Game. We've already talked with Zach Swansea. We'll run down all the numbers from this fabulous Georgia victory right after this timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network. Well, we don't want to lose our parking places, so we'll stick around a little while longer. Georgia beats Kentucky in overtime, 60-56 in the quarterfinals. We'll play in the semifinals tonight against Mississippi State. We'll get you an exact airtime as we move along through the postgame show here. Coming up next, our Ed Boyles Honda Player of the Game, and we'll talk with some Georgia coach, either Pete Herman or Dennis Felton, or maybe both of them. We'll see as we roll along here on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
You've been listening to University of Georgia basketball on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. The Dogs have been brought to you by the new AT&T, your world delivered. Budweiser, reach for a Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Red Baron Pizza, official pizza of the Georgia Bulldogs. Your local Chrysler dealers, Chrysler, engineered beautifully. The Georgia Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best. Verizon Wireless, proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. And by AirTran Airways. Go. There's nothing stopping you.
17 points from Terrence Woodbury, 16 from Sundiata Gaines, and one giant game-winning three from freshman Zach Swansea. And the Dogs beat Kentucky 60-56 in overtime here in the SEC tournament. Semifinal action coming up next for Georgia tonight at 8:06. That's when we'll start our countdown to tip off Georgia and Mississippi State. The scheduled tip time is 8:37. It will be approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of Tennessee and Arkansas. So we'll see you in a matter of hours. The post-game show this afternoon has been brought to you by Lowe's. Let's build something together, by Charter Communications also. For Jeff Dantzler, for producer-engineer Charles Youngs, and for network studio producer Alan Hunt, Scott Howard saying so long for now. We'll see you tonight for Georgia and Mississippi State on the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
This has been a production of WSB Sports. You've been listening to University of Georgia Basketball on the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network.